Be more than human.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph Carroll. I write under the pen name J.R. Carroll, and today we are here to talk about the best books I read in the month of September. The three main categories that I do for these is the most disappointing, the most surprising, and of course the best book of the month. Now, September was the biggest reading month of the year. I had 8 books uh, last month. And so there was a lot of books to pick from, a lot of really good books. But as always, we're going to start off with the most surprising book of the month. And that book is A Legend of Earthsea.
Hell yes.
Uh, this book had been on my radar a little bit. Le Guin, in particular, had been on my radar. I just had never got around to it, and September was a month where I was involved in a readathon, where you were capped off at 8, and I'm super competitive, so I had to get 8 books in, and this is a shorter book that kind of worked with the theme of the readathon. So I thought, well, this is the time, right? And I got into it, and I just thought to myself, wow, this book, for being as old as it is, I want to say it was from like the late 60s, it's still, and being as short as it is, it still packs a punch, still very, you can look at stuff, you can look at all the stuff that goes on in that book and be like, yeah, we've seen all these things before. But really, when they first came out, they were really new, but they hold up to today. So I just had an amazing time reading, Legend of Earthsea. Super surprised, did not expect it to be that good or hold up as well as it did. Now, the most surprising book on this list is going to be the book that was most disappointing to me. And it's going to be a shock because the last couple months that I've done this, the books in this series have been the best books of the, so you go from, pretty much getting the best book every month to kind of falling off. And it's not necessarily a bad book, it's just a book I was very disappointed in, and that is A Feast for Crows. This book was, he brought the page count down here, but it still felt really long. I don't know, very slow. I'm told it's because he's trying to build things back up, and I can completely understand that. You can't just keep topping and topping and topping. But for some reason, it just didn't. There were some good parts. Faceless Men, maybe my favorite thing, was in this book. But as a whole, Cersei really carried the whole book, and she's not even one of my favorite characters, but she carried. That tells you what I think. One of my least favorite characters actually carried the book. So yeah, it's just still good, just not great. And before we get into what was the best book of the month, just make sure if you like this content, make sure you're liking it, subscribing, leave a comment, all that good stuff for the algorithm, and check out my Patreon as well. Now, let's jump into the best book of the month. Now, this could have gone one of two ways. There was 2 books that were neck and neck in my estimations, and I'll talk about the book that just missed, and that was Jade City. Everybody on BookTube has read Jade City. Apparently, I'm like the last person, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. There are definitely some missed opportunities in the book, but overall, a magnificent book. I really, I would like, it's not going to happen this month, but maybe November and December, I'll finish the trilogy there. But let's get to the best book. And of course, that is Blood of Elves. The first true novel in The Witcher. And this book, I have not read this book in a long time, and we're doing a read along with myself, Bryce from Shelf Center, JC and Byrne, and my friend Nathan. And it is just awesome to get back into the meat and potatoes of The Witcher, into the first real continuous story, getting to see how the political intrigue and how Cersei is, fighting between wanting to be a Witcher, wanting to be a sorceress. Geralt took a little bit of a backstep here, but still, even like seeing his parts and how everything is kind of growing back. And as I said, I've read through the series twice, but it's been a long time, so there were still things that surprised me. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was here. I didn't know that was there. So I just super enjoy that. We're doing another discussion later in the month. One cool piece of memorabilia I got from my wife. I got this cool American Horror Story mug because my wife knows I love mugs. But the best part is on the back end, and it says "Normal people scare me," and that is exactly how I feel. Normal people scare me. Come on, people. Remember, be more than human.